11 years. 11 years. It's been over a decade since we got a new mainline Mario Kart. Needless to say, when Nintendo showed us a very small glimpse of what Mario Kart World was going to look like in the Switch 2 announcement video, yeah, I went a little bonkers. Mario Kart World had some massive shoes to fill after the legacy of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and it sounded very promising judging by all the trailers we got. After spending months saving up for the Switch 2 and somehow managing to snag one at GameStop, I finally got my hands on this game. I've played it a lot over the last few weeks or so, and today I want to answer the questions everyone's asking. Did it meet expectations, and should you splurge on this game now or wait? Let's analyze as much of this game as we can in this video to find out. Let's go. Let's start with the tracks in this game. I think a lot of people were expecting a ton of tracks after Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's whopping 96. But this Mario Kart actually comes in lighter than most of the recent Mario Karts, only offering 30 unique tracks. This obviously isn't counting the intermission tracks or the Crown City and Peach Stadium variants. But this does, however, make a bit of sense considering they all have to connect to one another in a reasonably sized open world. So if this game is going to offer less than a third of the amount of tracks Mario Kart 8 Deluxe did, they've got to be strong, you'd think, right? Well, okay, they're not bad. In fact, there aren't really any in particular I dislike driving on. But there could have been a bigger effort to make them stand out, especially the new tracks. The tracks are solid in this game, but that's about it. I don't feel there's a clear frontrunner in the bunch. I am going to put a pause on talking about the tracks though, since I want to rank them in a future video, so I'll save the rest of my thoughts for then. Maybe the battle tracks are better. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe had one of the strongest battle modes ever, so I have high hopes for Worlds. You've gotta be f***ing kidding me. Nintendo, have you learned nothing from Mario Kart 8? Why are you turning racetracks into battle tracks again? We begged you to change it the first time, and you did, so why are you doing it again? In fairness, there are 2 retro battle tracks. Well, sorta. Chain Chomp Desert is basically just Thwomp Desert from Mario Kart Wii, so I'm gonna count it. The other one is Big Donut. I'm gonna be brutally honest though, I hate both these battle tracks. They're both just boring circles, and Chain Chomp Desert is atrocious. The rest of the battle tracks just feel way too big, cause they're meant for racing, not battling. Battle tracks in Mario Kart don't tend to be that big either, so I don't see what was stopping them from adding a few around the map. I mean, Big Donut and Chain Chomp Desert don't take up that much space. Even if Battle Mode did have good battle tracks, the mode itself just sucks now. They downgraded back to only having Balloon Battle and Coin Runners. Where are Shine Thief, Bob on Blast, and the definitive best battle mode, Renegade Roundup? Just a side note, imagine if you could play Renegade Roundup across the entire map, that'd be kinda sick. But I also understand why it wouldn't work. Anyway, and not only can you still not turn off the stupid timer, now you can't even adjust it. I mean, at least when you run out of balloons now, the game ends, so there is an incentive to keep them all, but we need to be able to eliminate the CPUs as well. Nintendo, please don't make us wait 3 years for a deluxe version of this game, and just fix the stupid battle mode now. Anyway, moving on to the character roster. This game has no shortage of characters. Surprisingly, nearly half of Mario Kart 8's roster didn't return in this game. Most notably, the non-Mario characters have been slashed. Which, you know what, makes sense. As an open world game, it makes sense that this game would limit itself to just the Mario series. But you'll notice a few more fan favorites have been cut as well, like Petey Piranha, Diddy Kong, Funky Kong, and the one that hurts me the most, Dry Bowser. So you couldn't include Dry Bowser, but you had room for Coin Coffer. The roster is somewhat divided into main characters and side characters. The main characters all have unique outfits you can unlock from eating foods across different tracks, while the side characters don't. Some characters have more interesting outfits than others. For example, Waluigi, in my opinion, has some really diverse outfit choices, but Rosalina, a staple in the Mario series, has some pretty bland outfits aside from maybe the Aurora one. But while they may not have outfits, the side characters are all lovable oddballs. You got the ones you'd expect, like Dry Bones, Goomba, even Wiggler, but Nintendo added some interesting ones like Sidestepper, Dolphin, and Your Mom. But seriously, what were they smoking when they thought of some of these characters? Most of the side characters have to be unlocked by having Kamek turn you into them. This is an excruciating process. Kamek rarely appears, and even if he does, the chances of him turning you into a new character are pretty low. As someone who generally likes the 100% games, this bugs the crap out of me. But as big as this game's roster is, the most notable part of this game is free roam. I don't have a whole lot to say about free roam, but it's by far the most unique experience Mario Kart has to offer. It's what I expected it to be. It's not meant to be the main part of the game, but it's a super detailed side mode to take part in. It certainly wouldn't have hurt to add more to it. I've still been begging Nintendo to add boss fights to Mario Kart again, so that's always an idea. But besides that, there's still plenty of cool things to explore here, so free roam has my stamp of approval. Before we wrap up, I still wanted to talk about Grand Prix and Knockout Tour. Grand Prix is kinda cool how you have to drive to each track, but I think it ruins the pacing by quite a bit. I don't find the intermission tracks interesting at all, to be honest, and it feels like it takes up 80% of Grand Prix. Plus, when you actually get to the track, you only do one lap of it because of how long it took you to get there. Now, this obviously doesn't ruin the game. I just think you get a better experience with the classic setup and versus mode. Now, Knockout Tour is loads of fun. Sure, it may also be 80% intermission tracks, but what really makes this mode fun is the overall speed and intensity. As the race goes on, it gets scarier and scarier trying not to get knocked out. This mode doesn't make the game or whatever, but it's lots of fun. Alright, now that that's all said and done, it's time for a final verdict. My overall rating of Mario Kart World is a 7 out of 10. It's far from a bad game. I'd actually argue it manages to be one of the stronger Mario Karts, but there's just too many glaring issues. The biggest one to me is the lack of tracks. I get they didn't want this world to feel too big, but it feels weird going from 96 mostly great tracks to 30 pretty decent tracks. The battle mode also needs a complete makeover as well. For reference, even though I never did a review of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, my rating for that game would be a whopping 9 out of 10. So if Nintendo wants Mario Kart World to at least be on the same level as its predecessor, they're definitely going to need to update this game in the future, which may or may not happen. With the way Nintendo treats most of its games today, it feels like updates are a no-brainer. But with the open world approach, who knows if they'll want to tinker with it. Well, TLDR, Mario Kart World didn't really live up to its reasonably high expectations. And unless you're a massive Mario Kart fan like me, I personally don't think you need to splurge right away on a Switch 2 just for this game. If you're a casual Nintendo gamer, I'd say wait till the next big Mario or Zelda game. Or even just Donkey Kong Bonanza, cause that game looks spectacular. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please consider subscribing as it means the world to me. The Mario Kart World. Okay, but bye.